G'day, I'm Mick. Welcome to episode 4 Don't Risk It TV. I'm here today with Jonathan Warren. Jonathan's a security loss prevention specialist, and we're going to talk about loss prevention today. Jonathan.
Oh, thanks for having me here, Mick. I'm Jonathan, as you know, and my current role is with Southern Cross Group as the loss prevention trainer and team leader. And basically all I do is educate the people and the staff and the loss prevention officers, existing and new, on the fundamentals of making apprehensions and getting the stock back. And one of the things I want to talk to you today is the fines committing steps. Now, to establish the fines committing and actually arrest a person, we need 6 universal steps. So the first one is approach and select the item. It's 2 steps actually. So we need to see them approach it and select it. So basically where a lot of LPOs fall down is where they don't see this selection, and the person that they've started watching has already got something in their hand, they're walking around, they've put it in the bag, past the point of sale, and they go to make the apprehension. They find out later that they've already brought this in from home. So it's fundamentally important that we see them select the item first.
So keeping a really good visual on the client or on the suspected person.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The second one, or the third one, is placement of the item. So they could be still in their hand, in a pocket, in a bag, jacket, anywhere, right? So we need to see them place the item. And the next one is so important. It's fundamentally important that we have, and you said it yourself, constant observation of the person. We need to keep them under observation that whole time, because what is it we're protecting? It's the item, because we're security officers. And we're keeping our eyes on that item that whole time. Because they can disappear, we lose them for a minute, they've dumped it, and we go, great, it's a dump, fantastic. Right, we've got the stock back. Or,
sorry about that.
No, it's all right, no worries at all. So in this case, it's still in the pocket. We see them go to the register, maybe pay for something else or not pay at all. So there's a fail to pay for the item. And then once they leave the store,
Cross the threshold of the store.
yes,
Yeah.
the threshold of the store, we then approach, because that's when the offence has been committed. Right? So the 6 things are approach, select, then placement, which is the third one, constant observations, right? Past the point of sale, because there's a fail to pay, and then past that threshold or outside the store.
Outside the store.
Yeah, and that is when you can make that lawful arrest.
Now, really, we'd be looking at, if we wanted to make it as less fuss as possible, is before the person actually leaves that or crosses that threshold, maybe remind them that there's an item in your pocket that
Oh,
you
absolutely,
need to pay for. Yeah.
absolutely.
And not make a great big fuss about it. Instead of trying to chase them through the car park, so we could just hint, we could have a physical presence that we're watching them, and to a degree guilt them into going back, and there'll be no more fuss or no more issues.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word guilt. I'd probably just suggest, hey, look, do you still want the item? If so, please pay for it. Or
Please
if you
pay for
don't,
the item. Yeah.
just give it back. Be on your way. Yeah, everything's fine.
I mean, the classic is, you look at how a male shops around Bunnings, because, I love Bunnings.
Oh, of course.
But I'll go in there thinking, I need a packet of screws. And I'll be walking through going, packet of screws. Oh, I need another hammer. I need something else. And eventually that packet of screws ends up in my pocket. As I'm going through to the register, I might actually honestly forget the item's actually in my pocket. I paid for everything else. But there's no real, intent on stealing it. I've honestly forgotten it. So maybe giving that opportunity to say, mate, that item in your top pocket there, or in your pocket, the packet of screws, indicating that you've been watching them, and you can just remind them that they have the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That because on page 10 of my wonderful little book here that I've written is what is the LPO's fundamental role? It's to get the stock back.
Get the stock back.
That's what we're protecting. So we can put it back on the shelf and we can sell it on, right? Thus making money for the store. That is our fundamental role. Arrests and all that fun stuff that we can talk about.
Look, if we get to a point where, we don't have to go chasing through a car park, we don't have to go and make a scene, for better choice of words, because some people can get quite aggressive and violent when they're approaching the car park. They think they've got away with the item, and now they're going to try and yell out or get violent in the car park to maybe get some support from other people, saying, "Oh, look at the bad security officer," who's only actually just doing their job.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Now, as a covert, because I wear plain clothes, right? We've identified ourselves. I give people an option. I say, well, look, come back into the store with me. We'll have a chat.
We can discuss it. Everything can be discussed. You know, there could be an honest mistake.
Yeah. Or if you want to pay for the item, please
Pay for the item.
Let's do that. But if you don't, and it's still under your jumper, for better lack of an example, look, come back with us. We'll talk about your options, and usually it's a voluntary statement and trespass notice, and you're on your way. Right? No police involvement.
Yep.
And those sort of things, I think we'll talk about another day. But
Absolutely.
the 6 steps are just so crucial, because what happens if you don't have those 6 steps is the case that comes up next, which is false arrest. Yeah, and that's a whole messy business.
I mean, you're going to look really silly as an LPO if you say, "Oh, look, there's you haven't paid for that item in your pocket, and there's actually nothing in the pocket." Or you haven't paid for that item is in the bag, and there's nothing in the bag.
Yeah.
So you've got to be absolutely sure that, yes, I've seen the person make the approach, I've seen them select the item and actually conceal on their body.
Yeah.
Now, one thing to take into account, though, is like a professional thief. They will have some of the old tricks that are out there are, we could put, say, a nappy box over a microwave oven, and it looks like you're walking away with a box of nappies.
Yeah.
So they're disguising the item. Or we'll have we'll say a young lady that may be having a false belly that maybe looks like she's pregnant. So it looks like it's dropped into a pocket, but it's actually dropped into a padded false belly.
Yeah.
That's an old trick.
Now, new tricks are, because stores are now using reusable bags, bad guys have just gone, oh, thank you very much. I'll just get to come in with my own bags now. And they're loading it up with the Coles bag that maybe they've done shopping elsewhere. And I've caught many people doing that. They've come in with a full bag of, say, Coles or Woolies, and or Aldi, wherever you may be, and they're actually putting other items in
Other
there.
items in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're paying for an item, but there's other items in the bag.
That's right.
And I've just said, look, either pay for the item or you need to come back with me.
I mean, it might be they have other items. They've technically got a receipt for maybe 5 or 6 items, but they've actually got 10 items.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be looking at a receipt, does the items on that receipt match what's actually in the bag? If they've bought something from another location, well, obviously they should have a receipt from the other location.
That's it.
And that would just clear it up. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah. And another thing that I'm noticing too is fraud. Now, it's theft by deception, where you get a box from, say it's Black & Decker baby nappies or baby wipes, and they've
Black & Decker baby wipes. They're the industrial version.
sorry, like just the gold, the no-name brand. Okay?
Black and gold.
Yeah, Black and Gold.
That's the one. Black and gold.
Black & Decker. Yeah, and you've gone in and they've got the Huggies ones and put them in the box. Right? They turn the box over.
Turn the box over.
You go through the things. The girl scans the box. Right? No fault of hers. Right? And that's where we've seen that selection placement. They've placed it in a box. Continuity.
Yeah.
Yep. So we've watched them the whole time. They've done the thing, past the point of sale and outside the store, and I've just basically picked up the box and said thanks very much.
Go back and discuss it.
Yeah, you either come back and discuss it, or we give you a refund and we send you on your way. So we give them a refund because we've got our stock back. Do you want your money back? Yeah, great. We'll go and have that discussion as well. Yeah. I haven't mentioned anything about police. So.
Now, the other side to the, obviously the LPO, apart from we're looking for the clients who are coming to that particular retail outlet, we've also got to look at the staff.
Yes.
A large percentage of actually what gets stolen, or we refer to as shrinkage, in the retail world can be the staff.
Yeah, that's about in Western Australia alone, that was about $900 million. Yeah.
So that can be obviously a staff taking an item out through a back loading dock, or comes into a loading dock and never actually gets into the store itself, or we can be using the barcode scanners and we'll have a different barcode to what's actually been scanned through on the item.
Oh, absolutely.
So we might be paying for an item technically, but we're not paying the right price. It's not the right item listed on the receipt.
No. Well, we're almost out of time.
We're not too far from out of time.
I think that's a discussion for another day.
That's a discussion for another day.
Thanks
absolutely.
for having me.
So thank you, John, for coming out and having a discussion. Hopefully that's cleared up a few points for LPOs that are out there. We will discuss it further in the future. But if you've liked today's episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you.